Hey everybody, it's Kevin from 3D Printed Props. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I printed, painted, weathered, and assembled this incredibly detailed ash from the Evil Dead by Wicked 3D. So I know we're out of October. I totally ran out of time and didn't get all the videos out I wanted. So this is technically one of my Halloween videos. It is, of course, from one of my favorite franchises, the Evil Dead movies. I love all of them. Got to see a lot of them in the theaters. Not the first one, unfortunately, but all the rest of them. And a real big fan of the new one, too. The Rise Evil Dead, fantastic. If you haven't seen it, definitely, if you like these, watch it. Keep an open mind. It is a fantastic horror movie. So when I saw that Wicked 3D was putting out a diorama of Ash and the cabin, I knew it's something I wanted to do. If you're not familiar with him, he's a creator on Patreon I have contributed to for years. They do a just crazy amount of work. They kick out multiple statues a month with different variations. For example, like this statue comes with different heads, different things you can add to it, different like busts as well. It's an amazing collection. And this was just one of the files that came out that month. So I knew I had to print this. The detail was incredible. The sculpt I love, and it's going to make a nice addition to my shelf upstairs. There's not enough room in the studio anymore, so I'm putting stuff upstairs, and it looks pretty cool. I'll have to take a camera up there sometime. But this was really fun to print and to paint. I printed some of it, the bigger pieces, on my old Payopoly L, which I haven't used in a while, but I wanted to print these ones out in larger pieces just to make things easier on me. I had the printer, so I figured I'd do it. The rest were printed, the smaller pieces, which were still pretty big. The legs, all the legs area and the top area was all one print. I printed that on my HEYGEARS, which I love. Review in one of these corners showing up. So let's go ahead behind the fake wall and I'll show you how I did it. So there's not a ton of pieces here, but you know, because some of them are of course very, very large, but they are crazy detailed. The detailing in the wood, in the pieces, I mean, just look at that, the textures and everything. Wicked 3D does an incredible job with their modeling. The detail's amazing. 2 head sculpts come with this. A bunch of stuff comes with this. I don't really particularly care for the Ash normal face, so I think we're going to do the Deadite face. And of course, there's the zombie under the stairs, the middle finger, the knife, which won't be in the video because I lost it, and the sign. We've got the clock. We've got all these different pieces. Again, crazy detail. Now, I wanted to do a quick dry fit just because, you know, it's got a bunch of pieces that need to go together. And whenever there's a figure that's standing in a diorama like this, I just like to make sure I know what I'm doing. Now, we need to clean up some of these parts, do some sanding, not a whole lot, a little bit here and there, mostly to get rid of support pieces and little support things. I'm going to put this together with some clear epoxy, some 5-minute epoxy, and hold it into place with some clamps. Now, what I did was I gave it a spray of just some, you know, wood colored spray paint, and I'm going to go through it with just those basics paints, some raw sienna, some black, some burnt umber, and then I'm going to just, you see I've got a little plate over there. I'm mixing up some of these tones and just going over the spray paint. Again, when you're doing wood, blending and building tones is important. You're not going to just like, if you just paint it brown, it's going to look boring, especially with Wicked 3D models or any model. There's so much texture. Look at all the texture in that wood. So I'm just sort of, it's really not even dry brushing, but I'm still picking up that texture. This is sort of like a wet dry brush. I'm going over it with a black, and look at how it just, you know, just skating on top. A lot of course, dry brushing, skating the brush across the top to actually get and pick up those different textures. And you can see it just makes it come alive. And I'm going to be doing that on all this wood, using those, you know, 2 or 3 tones of the basics paint. That stuff is really cheap. If you're looking for everything I used and anything I used for this, it's in the description below. There are affiliate links. If you click on them, I get a few pennies, and I buy more stuff, buy more paint with it. But you can see here I'm building up tones and just skating the brush over the top to really pick up on those textures. So we're going to use some of that titanium white that I like as a base. It's not a pure white. It's got that nice yellow bone tone to it. And then some ochre, yellow ochre. And you can see, again, I'm skating over now to hit the bumps and the ridges and the highlights to start building up tones. Whenever you're doing painting like this, that's what you want to do. You want to put like a tone upon a tone, a color on a color, do some washes, and build those things up. Now, I know I wanted this to be sort of like a sickly yellow brown, bony sort of cream color like she was. And again, we're just adding tones and then filling in some of the areas that would be more shaded, that are more pockmarked. Of course, adding some fun blood. And I think I'm going to go ahead later on when this dries and actually add some clear coat to this, a gloss clear coat to make the sort of blood stay nice and glossy like this, or it would just sort of dry up. It'll still look pretty creepy, but I think that clear coat would make it shine and look nice and glossy. I might gloss this whole character to make her look kind of oozy. And now you can see I'm just sort of dry brushing some more of that blood tone. It's just a straight red mixed with a little blue. You don't want to just add black to things like that. You want to add like their complementary color so you don't dull them, but you just give them a nice shade to them. And then I finished it off with just doing a white dry brush, coloring the hair up and sort of gunking it up with just some browns and stuff. Same thing after coloring her nightgown, adding some of the same color with a little black, a little red, just to sort of dinge it up. Now, look at the detail just on this little middle finger, after he cuts his hand off. A little tiny piece like this, it's going to sit in the corner of the diorama, still with all that detail. I can't say enough good things about his models. Again, take a look at him over on Patreon. I've been a subscriber of his for a long time and just love the stuff that studio puts out. Now we're just going to go over with some different skin tones. I'm adding a little bit of red to them. I'm adding a little bit of purple and building it up so you get this sickly looking grayish red, adding some of that dark wash in there to really give it some depth. And it looks super gross and super creepy. And that was sort of my test on what I'm going to be doing the rest of the flesh on. Then I'm going to go and paint up some of the other accoutrements using different techniques we've already seen, which is some dry brushing, some wet brushing to sort of get that tone we want, coloring over it, drying it off with a paper towel. Again, I thought this would be neat just to make this really look bloody, like a wooden bloody sort of post, and really, really happy with how that thing turned out. Now let's start putting some of this together. I'm just using glue for this. I'm putting on the clock, and while it's drying, I laid it on its side, and I'm adding some almost straight black acrylic to it and wiping it off, because you got to think those areas would be darker, they'd be smudged. Think about how things wear when you're weathering. All right, now the fun part. Although that last part I think was pretty fun. It got a little tedious with the browns, but now we're going to do the detail here. I did use some epoxy putty to sort of fill in where the top and the bottom met. I like to do that. I think it looks more finished than having a seam there. And now I'm just going to go ahead and block in all these paints. Usually you got to give them 1 or 2 coats and then start working on some of the detail. The belt, just there's so much detail in the model. This took a lot longer than I thought it was going to take because that's usually how it is. Now I made sure to check and see what paints I used for the hand so that I knew what to go with for the rest of the skin tones. And this was fun. I got lost in doing all the detail in this chainsaw. I painted it like a dark color and then went over that dark color with like a more silver color because that's like it would wear there towards the top more. Adding some silver areas in here to look like scuffing, and then going through and now doing some weathering. So we're doing some weathering of the cloth. I'm mixing that bluish tone that we use, that like sort of periwinkle tone, with some black and some red to dull it back and give it some tone. And then just, you know, where it would be dirtier, adding more of the black. So you can see like in the seam, again, just adding it in. This is just a acrylic wash. And look at that. It just comes alive when you weather things. Something like this cannot be clean. It needs to be weathered. Now this was probably the most fun I had doing the face. Unfortunately, I thought I was recording one part and I didn't. You can see I added some yellow wash and some red wash. So it's a red and a yellow just really sort of watered down. And you can see how I have it almost like running. See how it looks like running on the sides? And I used a purple bluish color for the inset on those eyes. Again, you don't want to just use a black because, you know, then it'll have that sort of just not enough color to it, not enough dimension to it. Use different tones of those colors, and you can see with the multiple washes, I'm just super happy with how creepy that face comes out. And again, a wash is just, you know, toning down the color with a white and then going over it so it's almost transparent. You can see here I did record these, so this is kind of what I did with the face. I used that ochre and then a red, and it's a wash. You can see it's sort of going over it. It's not covering it up. I dab some away with the paper towel and then go in with a red with a little bit of that periwinkle and a little bit of brown to really get that tone coming through. And you can see it's just filling in those darker areas or those shallower areas, and super crazy happy with how that thing came out. Now we're just going to do some straight dry brushing here with a lighter brown tone, just sort of pick up those highlights on the pants. And you can see simple dry brushing just really makes things come alive. Now we're going to hit some of these darker areas to, you know, bring up the grime, and then just hit them with some blood. Just dab some blood on. I did notice I forgot to paint these shells, so I went ahead and did that. And now we're gluing some stuff up. And somebody asked me what the spray is they see me using. This is like a spray activator. It's Bob's, I think. I use this stuff all the time. It doesn't react with acrylic paints. And once you hit it with that, it pretty much sets it solid. But sometimes I still like to use some clamps to keep heavier items in track. And yes, too much glue. That looks really sharp on there. Now we're going to start assembling this. We drop her into place. We got the middle finger in the background. Put some glue on her palms and lined up where the pegs were. Again, Wicked 3D, they just, everything fits together. No sanding involved here. It was really awesome. Now I'm putting him on the base. I'm doing it quickly while that stuff really hasn't even set yet. And then I'm hitting the back leg with the activator to freeze it in place, putting the head on, and it is all finished. Look at this thing. I love the detail in this. I love the posing. I'm happy I went with the Deadite head. I think it looks more like him as a Deadite than the actual Ash face looked. But look at all the detail in this. And it comes with multiple different things. That's the great thing about Wicked 3D, that you can get one where like the woman, you could have done this where the woman is in the back area there. It just looks crazy cool. And I realized I forgot to add this. It's the pull thing. So it's just a piece of straw with a piece of twine to make it look like it's the pull thing. And again, crazy happy with all the little details you can see in here. And he just looks super creepy. Ash from The Evil Dead. So that is the key. I've said it a lot of times when I'm talking about painting pretty much anything. It's layers, layers, layers. Think of where the grime should be. Think about where the tones should be, and just build that color up. Use straight paints and then go to some washes, some transparents to just make the tones deeper and more realistic. And again, couldn't be more happy with this. I think it turned out really great. I hope you liked the video. Hope you learned a little bit of something. I love you know, painting these things and showing these things off, and, you know, maybe giving some tips in case you didn't know them. It's real fun. I really enjoy it. So guys, I want to thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one, and have a great night.